We good? Okay. We're gonna call the meeting to order here. Roll call, Ben Colligan,
Here.
William Johnson,
Here.
Tom Scrapnino,
Here.
Bill Diorio,
Here.
here via Zoom, and Lisa Kreckler here. Stephen Kiley, Town Attorney, is present via Zoom. Can we review and approve the minutes from last meeting?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
So we have one application to discuss here tonight, 56A Cartwright Road, Keller. We had the hearing the last meeting, and basically what they had to come back because they received a stop work order. They ended up demolishing the house entirely based on some issues they had during their renovation, which was not approved by us. So they have come back to us requesting the variance and a special permit to demolish the house and rebuild. I think an important part of this is that they are not expanding the footprint at all still, even with the demolition. I guess once they started doing the approved renovations, they came across some existing conditions that were worse than they had thought.
Undersized beams, it was
Yep.
below grade, it was missing footing.
The foundation was cracked.
Yes.
So they did go ahead and the builder then went ahead and got approval from the owner to demolish the house and do a bigger renovation than we had approved. So I'm open to any thoughts and discussion on this.
They had to halt work for 4 months.
Mhm.
I believe it was an honest mistake. I visited the site today,
Mhm.
and the fact that they're not, they're going to rebuild on the existing footprint
Yeah.
is a good thing in terms of the
And
impact on the community.
there was no way they were gonna do that renovation on the damage that was there. There was no way they were gonna do that original.
Correct. Yeah,
Right.
and I guess, an alternative is they could have,
Came to the,
They should.
They-
should have came back to the building
but,
department, explain what was going on. They ran into a problem
yeah.
instead of they just went on their own.
Mhm. Yep.
I know they have paid mightily in terms of delay and fees for this mistake. So I did take that into account.
The applicant also said that they were going to hire a new construction manager to resume the project and hopefully to keep it with all in the code and conforming to what's outlined, our decision and the building plans.
May I chime in?
Yep.
So, I mean, clearly there was some, I don't know, bad acting here. The builder wound up being fined in town court. These folks have had to come back here. And I know that there'll be some sentiment perhaps in the community for people to say, well, they tore down the house without a demo permit. You shouldn't give them anything. But our job as the ZBA is to weigh the benefits of the applicant against the detriment to the community. And while there may be some detriment to the community by allowing someone who, has gotten themselves in a situation that was completely avoidable, I think a greater detriment to the community is saying, rip this foundation out of the ground and start a new foundation somewhere else in a new hole that we're going to dig in the ground. The intrusion into the setback is very small. There's a 38 square feet on the first floor, 11 square feet on the second floor, and a 20-foot deck within the setback. It's
Minimal.
20 square feet. And they are removing a 538 square feet from the deck from the setback. So really, it's a net gain in terms of
Conformity.
coverage in the setback. So for me, they're building the same house that they were supposed to build from the beginning of the process. And I think that, from my perspective, it's an unfortunate situation. But I think it makes the most sense to allow this.
That and they're not building a bigger house. They tore that foundation out, they maybe try to go build for a bigger house.
Sure.
At least they're keeping the same footprint.
Yeah.
Does anyone have anything else to add?
No, I agree with Phil.
So we can go into our checklist.
Which one you gonna do first?
Let's do the area variance one. Whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties.
I'll say no. This house is going to be a modern home with a modern septic system, modern lighting. I think it'll be a benefit to the neighborhoods and the community.
Whether the benefits sought by the applicant can be achieved by a feasible alternative to the variance.
I mean, based on the current situation of the state of their foundation, I would say no. Although that's not the original reason they were here. At this moment, that's why we're here. So,
This time, yes.
yeah. No?
I mean, they could move the house, like we said, but, is that really that feasible?
Based on the
Based
minimal
on-
size of
yeah.
the intrusion.
Mhm. So I'd say no. Whether the requested variance is substantial.
So we've got 38 square feet plus 11 square feet, with the deck removal of 538 feet, so a net positive in terms of what we look at, so I would say it's not substantial.
And it's only it's like a foot, it's about 1.5 feet, I think, from the side yard setback, so it's not very substantial.
Is it 1.5 exactly?
I have to get
I think it's
the,
1.6 for the deck.
yeah, it's very close to that.
I think
Yeah,
it's
1.6
1.3 for the house.
and 1.6 for the deck.
Yeah.
Will the variance have an adverse impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood?
No, I think with the new septic and the upgraded construction, it would have been a detriment had they kept the foundation the way it was.
Yep, agreed.
Right.
Whether the alleged difficulty was self-created?
Yeah.
Yes.
Second part, yes.
Second part, yes. Okay. You good, Lynn?
Yeah.
And we're gonna move on to the special permit. Is the proposed use the most appropriate use of this land? Yes, it's residential and it's remaining residential. Will the use be detrimental to surrounding property values?
No.
No.
It's
Increase
still.
the property.
Anything that might increase,
Mhm. Will the use cause an overcrowding or land or undue concentration of population? No, the use again is the same, it's a residential and they're not increasing over what they're allowed. Is the site suitable for the location of such use in the town?
yes.
Yes, it's
Yes.
residential. Is the proposal harmonious within the character of the existing and probable development of uses in the vicinity?
Yes.
Yes, it is,
Yes.
waterfront.
Is the proposed use accessible for fire and other emergency apparatuses?
Now, I had trouble getting in today as a
Mhm.
neighbor was coming out, so, I mean, it's really like a one-way in, one-way out situation. But that's how it was.
It was
before.
always-
It's always been that way.
Yeah, so what do we say on that?
There's been no change to the accessibility
okay.
of the yeah.
Okay.
Is the proposed use unreasonably near a church, school, theater, recreational area, or other place of public assembly?
No.
No.
No,
Will the proposed use interfere with established uses in the neighborhood?
No.
No.
no,
Are the driveways and sidewalks adequate to ensure the public safety and avoid traffic congestion? Lynn pointed out that it is a one-way. And
But it's existing.
it's existing, and there's not a lot of other,
The only people who would
Properties
go
on there.
there are the two homeowners and
Yes.
visitors, yeah.
yeah, that's it, just the local crap.
are there adequate facilities for the treatment, removal, or discharge of sewage, refuse, or other effluent from this use?
Yes,
Yes.
and
They're gonna-
septic?
New,
We're gonna have a new septic system there.
Mhm. Yep.
Will the proposed use cause odors, dust, light, or noise? If so, how can the impact be minimized?
No,
nope,
And the lighting will be
Yep.
compliant?
Will the proposed use impact the aquifer and other important natural resources, and if so, how can they be protected?
It's the same.
It's the same use, it's residential, it's still a deck, it's still. Is the lot big enough for the proposed use and its reasonable anticipated operation and expansion?
It's a modest addition.
Mhm. Is there enough off-street parking for employees, visitors, and is parking laid out in a convenient and safe way? The parking is not changing based on
no,
granting of this? What buffers and screenings are necessary to protect adjacent properties and land uses?
There is some
There-
buffering already, and I think that will remain.
Yep. Existing buffering, so, great. Do we want to add any conditions on this? Anyone?
I think they just gotta make the, they'll be collecting the rain runoff and dark sky.
Were there any on the original
Well,
one?
Those are built in.
The
right?
original, those are built in, Punch. The original one, we did not have any conditions on. That's a good question.
the one condition that I would ask to put on there is that if there is any change in the building plans during the process, they have to go to the building department before making any changes.
Moving forward, yes.
Is that on the area or the special permit?
I really, I think you could do it on either or both.
Okay. Okay.
Just to make that crystal
Yeah.
clear.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'm sure these folks don't want to be coming back for another go.
No. You good, Lynn?
Mhm.
Okay. Moving on, we have another item on the agenda, other business appeal fee.
Do we have to close that one?
No.
The hearing's closed.
Oh, right, got it.
Thank you.
Sorry.
No, that's good. We want to have a discussion about an appeal fee for, Bill, do you want to kind of,
Sure. So, basically everything that we do, there's a fee. Everything, takes the time of town employees. For there are different scales for based on the size of a project. the number of variances that people need. We also have a fee for interpretations. Christina, what is the fee for interpretations?
$800.
$800. And so now we're starting to get people wanting to appeal the things that determinations by the building department. And sometimes we'll hear those appeals and sometimes we won't. Mostly if they really you know, are part of section 133 of the town code. But in the end, if an appeal is filed, I do think that it should be accompanied by a fee. If the appeal is heard, the fee will not be returned, and if the appeal is not heard, we would return the fee. So I guess the question is, you know, how much of a fee is it going to be? Is it going to be something like the interpretation fee? Because I think maybe that's probably a good place to, you know, it's a sort of a similar thing to me. I'd love to hear what you folks think.
I think the fee should be commensurate with the work that is expended in putting it before us. So would those be equal in terms of workload to the staff?
Probably, yeah, with the, as an interpretation,
Mm-hmm.
most likely.
Okay. So I would be fine with the same fee, and I like the idea of refunding it if we don't hear the appeal.
Yeah, I agree with Lynn, and that plan of starting it, you know, at an $800 fee if we hear it, and if we don't, we can return it.
Now, this is something that we don't do on our own, right? We have to then go to the town board and ask them to initiate this, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
So we would send a letter as we did before, with
Yeah.
adjusting the fees. So this would be basically just for any other appeal, I guess, wording.
Do you guys agree with that?
I do.
Agreed.
So Christina, you'll write something up?
Yeah, I'll draft it and I'll circle it before sending to town board.
Okay. Okay, does anyone have anything else that they want to go over today's meeting? Can I get a motion to close the meeting?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Meeting closed